Welcome back to another episode of Too Much Pod Tar. As today is April 4th, and I'm here again with Johnny Black as we go over today in baseball history.
That's gone. George Brett has just homered, and Billy Martin and the Yankees want the bat. Look at Martin.
Well, what you're talking about, Frank, is that he's got too much
Pod Tar.
way too much pod tar.
We kind of start off here. 2016 was kind of a big one here. Trevor Story, he became the first player in history to hit 2 home runs in his first regular season game on opening day, and the 5th rookie to accomplish the feat, as he hit both of them out. Zach Greinke of the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he was crazy when he first came up, and then he kind of fell off a little bit. But he's turned into a top 5 shortstop in the major leagues. I mean,
Yeah,
he's been incredible.
All right. And we'll see what happens here if we get a season. I think he can be one of the, along with Arenado, that they look to trade even if they're not playing good. Well, I don't know if it's with a shorter season. I don't know if they would anyway, but
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. That's some serious left side of the infield. I mean, and they locked up Arenado for say the next 7 years or whatever. I mean, I wonder if they do that with Story, because I think he's a free agent in 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. If 16 was his first year, then 16, 17, 18, 19, that's 4. 2020 and then 2021. 6 years of control. So after the 21 season, he would be a free agent. So it will be interesting. You never know what the Rockies are going to do. They always surprise.
yeah, and who knows? They always kind of seem to mess up their players, their big players.
Yeah, well, they never play the young guys. They did it with Story. I mean, they brought him up right away. And they play him and everything, but then they'll turn around and get rid of him.
Right.
You get sign Arenado for an 8-year deal. Never play like all the young guys like McMahon and Brendan Rodgers and Garrett Hampson, like all these young guys. David Dahl. I mean, Dahl's had injury history, but I'm just saying, I don't know. It just seems weird, like how they go about building their team.
All right. Yeah, it's weird, but it's so weird thinking that they were actually in the playoffs there like just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
there was another one with the Rockies in 2014 with Charlie Blackmon. He tied a team record for hits in a game with 6 hits against who was it against? Against Arizona. He had 3 doubles, 2 singles, and a home run. And he was the first major leaguer to do that. Get 3 doubles, 2 singles, and a home run. So pretty solid performance by Blackmon. He's another one has been pretty good.
Yeah, he's been solid. His defense is kind of falling off, but he can still hit.
Yeah,
he can definitely still hit.
And then the record that he tied was actually established by Andres Galarraga in '95.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big cat. The big cat, Galarraga.
Oh, yeah.
We used to call him. They had him and Dante Bichette, well, Bichette's father.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
They had a good squad back then, too, in the 90s. Good hitting, anyway. The pitching never turned out because everyone they got, we couldn't pitch across field. But
yeah.
That was before the humidor. That was some fun baseball right back then.
Yeah.
Steroid era, plus you got course field. So that was great.
That. Holy shit.
Galarraga could play, though. I'll give him that. He started off in Montreal, too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
2012, Joey Votto and the Reds, they agreed to the longest guaranteed contract in Major League history at the time, $251.5 million for 12 years. And now Harper got. Oh no, yeah, Harper got 13 years.
Yeah, Harper got 13.
So
Trout got 12 also.
yeah. So now that's been passed. And,
Didn't
Joe.
Stanton get 13 also?
Oh yeah, Stan got 13 too.
Yeah. His
That's
was
right.
13.
2000 whatever 16 or whatever. I forget what it was.
Yeah, I forget when he got his contract. 16 or 17.
Yeah, because he was traded to the Yankees in 18. So
Yeah,
I think it was 16 because I think it was 2 years after he got the contract.
yeah, I think so. You're right.
Yeah, but with Votto, I think he's still pretty solid. I think he's not. He definitely has the power still and can do some stuff there. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's still all right. I mean,
Yeah, I think that 12 years was too long though for him.
yeah, it's too long. It's really too long for anyone,
Right.
unless you're like 20. You know what I mean? Really.
Yeah.
But you're banking on the first half of the contract being paying dividends, whereas you can live with paying the money the second half of the contract as a team. You know, if someone outperforms their contract in the beginning, then you can live with the fall off, the decline. You know, but Votto, I don't know about Votto. I think Votto's going to be a little more energized this year. The Reds made some good moves to put some bats in that lineup around him, aside from Suarez. You know, so I think maybe he'll get energized this year. I mean, he's still got great plate discipline as far as taking walks and stuff like that, not swinging a crap. So he's got that. I just worry about his production falling off just because bat speed generally slows down as you get older. I mean, look at Pujols.
Yeah.
We still got great plate discipline too, but there's just guys are throwing harder now than they did 5 to 10 years ago, and when you start going into your late 30s into 40, your bat speed just slows down. So I mean, you're not going to be catching up with that 99. It's the way it is. Like they say, Father Time's undefeated.
Oh yeah.
So.
And there was another big thing in 2008. The Blue Jays honored Roberto Alomar before the game. They inducted him into their Toronto's level of excellence, and they had a little video montage for him showing his career highlights at the Rogers Center. So that was definitely what am I trying to say? I can't think of what I'm trying to say.
Moment,
Yeah, a cool moment. Yeah.
Well, he definitely deserved it.
Yeah.
I mean, a little trivia on Robbie. He's one of only 4 players with 10 Gold Gloves and a career batting average of 300. The other 3 are Roberto Clemente, Willie Mays, and Ichiro.
Damn.
So he's in pretty good company.
Yeah.
These guys having a 300 average and 10 Gold Gloves. Alomar was. I mean, you probably got to put him up top 5 second baseman all time. Honestly.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah.
Say Rogers Hornsby, Joe Morgan. After that, I mean, you could possibly put Alomar third. I mean, there may be arguments for like Cano and stuff like that, but Alomar was, was always a much better fielder and always had the speed. He was really like pretty much a 5-tool player for a lot of his career. Plus, he was a switch hitter.
Right.
He did that his whole life too. So, I mean, Alomar, I'd probably put him third all the time, honestly, at second base. You might take like some guys from the old days. Like I said, Hornsby was a beast, but and then Joe Morgan was great. But I think you didn't have like Eddie Collins, Napa LaJoie, like guys like that back in the day. Tully Garrett, maybe. But I mean, honestly, modern day, I personally, aside from Joe Morgan, and I caught like more toward the end of his career, I've never seen a better second baseman play, personally, than Robbie Alomar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you said with there, like Cano, he can possibly put him in there too, but he was like good for the Yankees, and then after that he kind of just fell off and had the steroids, of course. So I think that
Yeah.
Alomar definitely kept it up for longer. So
Yeah, like I said, Alomar has the defense and the speed too. I mean, Cano was a great hitter, but and he was a good fielder. I'm not taking anything away from Cano, but I'm just saying Alomar was. I mean, 10-goal glove when he was playing up the middle for Cleveland those couple of years when he played with Vizquel. It was like a beautiful thing to watch.
yeah. Let me go back to 2007. Tuffy Rhodes, first non-Japanese player in Nippon Pro Baseball history to drive in 1,000 runs.
Yeah.
Only two of the 28 players who reached the milestone prior had accomplished it in fewer games. So.
Yeah. Interesting that he did it on this day, and not to jump around, but it's on the same day in 1994. On opening day when he hit those 3 home runs off Dwight Gooden.
Yeah.
Only the second player to hit 3 home runs on opening day. But yeah, it's interesting that he did that in Japan on the same day he hit the 3 home runs off Doc Gooden. It's kind of crazy. Of all people, tough. It's like who, like what?
Yeah, it's crazy how some of this history comes together like that.
Yeah, and I remember granted, in the 90s, like 94 when he did it off Dwight Gooden, my dad was a big Mets fan. So I remember watching a lot of Mets games. And I remember watching that game. And it was like, who the hell is this guy? Tuffy Rhodes.
Yeah.
Off Dwight Gooden, no less. We're talking about one of the premier pitchers. Granted, he was starting to get, I think his habits got starting to get the better of him at that point. But he was still a pretty good pitcher into the 90s, And I was just like, wow, who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is he?
Right.
He didn't turn out to be anything.
No.
I mean, he turned out to be something big in Japan, but, he never really made it in the States here with the Cubs. But, yeah, it's just crazy.
There's another big one in 2003 with Sammy Sosa hitting his 500th career home run. He was the first Latin American player to do so. So definitely a big accomplishment. Only it was 18th overall at the time, and now what is there?
20? What did you do at
2003. So I think
2003? Oh, I have 7 for season. I don't know. I must have written it wrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think how many more after that? A-Rod was Tommy.
A-Rod, Tommy, Pujols.
Oh yeah, Pujols. So that's at least 3 more. So
yeah, there's definitely in the 20s.
Yeah.
Think if anyone else did it at the time.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
I mean, you figure 2003 is pretty early. I mean, Griffey.
Oh yeah, right.
Griffey only came up in what, 95?
90. Oh, 89 actually.
90. Yeah. Right, 98. That's right, because he just made his debut. Was that? Yeah, that was yesterday, right?
Yeah, that was yesterday. He made his debut. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are a few guys that passed it since then, but I mean, Sosa's still what? He's still like 6th on the all-time list, I think, right? Because he finished with 600 something.
Yeah, something like that.
So 6 or I don't know. I don't have it pulled up right now.
I think it was like 606 or something.
Something around there, yeah. So he's only like one of 6 or 7 players with 600.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely good company for that.
Yeah.
Then 2001, Hideo Nomo, he threw a no-hitter, and it was his second no-hitter. I think so. Yeah, it was his second no-hitter, and the first he did it in both leagues. So he did this one in the AL. He did one in the NL before that. So I think is he still the only one who ever did it? I think he is, right?
No, I don't think so. I think Ryan did it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ryan was with Houston. I just
Yeah.
don't know if he pitched a no-hitter with Houston, but he threw 7. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
would think he did.
He probably did.
But the interesting thing about Nomo is it's the earliest no-hitter on the calendar ever. Bob Feller pitched on opening day, but that year, I believe it was 1940. Opening day wasn't until like the middle of April 15th or 16th or something. So Nomo's was the earliest. Plus, it was his first start for the Red Sox. So talk about endearing yourself to the Fenway faithful. You know, he was your first game at Fenway Park, and he's a no-hitter. And that's another thing, too, with Nomo. He pitched a no-hitter in Fenway, and he pitched one in Coors Field. I believe it's still the only no-hitter ever pitched at Coors Field, if I'm not mistaken, back when he was with the Dodgers. So considering he threw 2 no-hitters, 1 in each league, and we're talking about 2 of the best hitters parks in baseball, that's pretty impressive. Nomo was a good pitcher for a while. He was solid.
Yeah. Yeah, and going back to Sosa too, he's now 9th all time home runs. Yeah. So it's Tomey, Griffey, Pujols, Mays, A-Rod, Ruth, Aaron, and then Bonds. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, 609 was how many he had.
Oh, right. Yeah. I thought it was 606. Yeah. Okay. 609.
Close enough.
Yeah.
In 99, they had the first opening day or the first time they went to Mexico as they started the season there. It was who was it against? It was Rockies against the Padres.
Yeah.
And then speaking of home runs too, 98 Mark McGwire, he started off the season with 4 home runs in 4 consecutive games, which tied Willie Mays' National League record. I mean, he ended up going to have such a good season that year with how many home runs? 60 something, right?
Which year was it? 98?
Yeah, 98. That was the year.
He hit 70.
70, yeah.
He broke the record that year. He and Sosa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane, man. I just remember watching it like everything you saw on TV, like anytime you turned on ESPN, whenever Sosa or McGwire, whenever either one of them were batting, they would cut to it. No matter what they were showing on ESPN, they would cut to their at-bat. Like toward the end of the season, like, once it got closer. But it was insane. You never see baseball coverage like that on ESPN anymore.
No.
But back then, that was all about the chase. All about chasing down Maris.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that was the year I was born. Yeah.
Well, damn, I'm old.
Let's see, 94, Eddie Murray became the all-time leader in games played at first base, which he played in 2,369 games there. It's kind of a random stat, but still a stat, I guess.
Yeah, well, it ties in with that day because the Jake opened in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Jacobs Field, and they retired Larry Doby, his number 14. Larry Doby was the first. He was the first African American player in the American League. He came up, I think, about 2-3 months after Jackie Robinson. And they retired his number. And like I said, Bob Feller, they said, was in attendance that day, and he actually threw the only opening day no hitter. I have it written. Actually, yeah, April 16th, 1940, against White Sox. So a lot of stuff happened at Jake that day.
It was crazy too because Randy Johnson, he had a no hitter through the first 7 innings.
Yeah, right. How weird would that have been?
And then they ended up going to 11 innings. Or yeah. And Dennis Martinez threw that at the first pitch before the game. I have actually there's a video here. Let's see.
You see there in the red coat, there's the president.
There he is, President Clinton.
Wearing an Indians cap. My, how appropriate. He better have an Indians cap on.
There's not really much there. Just yeah, it's like just showing him throwing it out the first pitch.
Yeah. Martinez pitched well from that year too.
Yeah.
Yeah, before Dave Portnoy was El Presidente, that was Dennis Martinez's nickname. He was El Presidente. So whenever I hear El Presidente, I think of Dennis Martinez. I don't think of Dave Portnoy from Barstool.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think of that either. Like, Portnoy is an asshole.
Oh yeah, understanding. Well, they do what they do. Whatever.
Yeah. I actually kind of like some of the Barstool guys though. Like, even as a Yankees fan, Carabas isn't terrible. I kind of like his. I listen to his. His podcast, whatever it's called, I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's not bad.
He's one of the few guys there that actually know sports.
Yeah,
a lot of those guys over there, they don't really, they don't really know just sports. Carabas is actually not bad. I'll give you that. And what do they have? The Yankee guy is what, Hubbs? Eric Hubbs? Yeah. He's not bad. Like, I don't mind those guys like on Twitter and stuff like that. Like, they're all right.
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of them, like you said, a lot of them aren't too. I don't really like a lot of them. Like, they're just like kind of just annoying. Like, they don't even like know what they're saying.
Yeah, they just go whatever. Whatever's gonna get the views, and then clicks, and whatever subscribers and.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dallas Braden is there too. He's hilarious.
Oh, Braden? I'm never a fan of his.
He's on the pod with Carabas. They're both hilarious whenever like he goes on these rants. It's so funny. He's like, but yeah, that has nothing to do with today. But let's see. Yeah, 88. We got George Bell. He became the first player to hit 3 home runs on opening day. And that helped the Blue Jays get the victory over the Royals.
Yeah, and all 3 home runs are Brett Saberhagen.
Yeah.
2-time Cy Young Award winner, Brett Saberhagen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the year after that, in '89, I had marked it down. Tommy John actually got his 287th win in his 26th season in the major leagues, which at the time was a record. Nolan Ryan broke it since. He broke it in 1994, I believe. He's pitching his 27th year. But it's kind of ironic that Tommy John, of all people, set that record, considering the surgery that's named after him that he had. He was the first one. Frank Jobe did the surgery, the UCL replacement, and he was the one that pitched his 26th season in 1989. What better advertisement can you have for that surgery than having the guy it's named after pitch for 26 years in the majors?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got to meet Tommy John. I did this baseball camp like in Scranton, and when I was 13 or something.
Wow. So
I got to meet him. He did, and then I got his autograph and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
He gave like us like like he gave us a good like speech about and whatever stuff about his career and all that stuff, like how to be a good player. Like it was pretty cool. So, and well, obviously we also got to do like drills with him too. He was doing drills with us.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, just looking here, the other players that hit 3 home runs on opening day after that were obviously we talked about Tuffy Rhodes, and then Dimitri Young in 2005. Damn, I remember that guy, Dimitri Young.
Wow. Yeah.
And then Matt Davidson. I don't even know who the hell was that? Matt Davidson.
Yeah. White Sox.
Yeah, White Sox. Those are the only ones that ever happened. So.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Forgot about Dave. Forgot about Dimitri Young hitting the 3 home runs, but I remember him. But I totally forgot Matt Davidson. Wow.
Yeah, that was in 2018. So that was the 4th one all time.
Wow, that's wow. Huh.
Yeah.
How quickly we forget these guys. They just fall off the map, man.
Oh yeah. What even happened to him?
I don't even know. To be honest with you, I mean, it was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Jesus.
He had power that year too. Like I thought he had a decent season.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking him up too. Played for 6 years. That was it.
Yeah, he's
still only 29 years old.
Man.
Yeah, 26 home runs in 17 and 20 home runs in 18.
Yeah. Well, he was actually in AAA last year for the Rangers.
Oh.
He hit 33 home runs in AAA.
Huh.
So, wow.
Well, he also had a 295 on base percentage and a 226 batting average in the major league. So, with 355 strikeouts and 1,000 plate appearances. So, I mean, he's kind of,
Now he's with the Reds. He's signed with the Reds.
Wow.
So he's probably going to be stored in the minors.
Yeah. We'll always have that day, though.
Yeah. So congratulations, Matt Davidson, for having 3 home runs.
He just turned 29. He's still young. Hey, you never know.
Yeah. And then today's another big thing. It's a pretty big day with Hank Aaron. He hit his 714th home run in front of 52,000 fans at Riverfront Stadium on opening day. And that tied, of course, Babe Ruth's all-time home run record. Hanmerin Hank.
Yep.
They were actually trying to get him to get it at home, but the commissioner Bowie Kuhn actually ordered them to put him in the outfield. I mean, into the lineup for at least 2 of the games in that series. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. They wanted to get him in Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium, but he wound up getting it there. The record-breaking home run.
Yeah, the record-breaking one. Yeah. How many days later was that? I don't even remember.
Only a couple of days. It wasn't long. 3-4 days. It wasn't that far after that. I know it was April. Well, it'll be coming up on our Today in Baseball History, I'm sure, in like 4 or 5 days. Because I want to say it was like April 8th or April 9th. Like, it wasn't that long past that.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like someone like Hank Aaron's going a week or 2 without hitting a home run.
No.
I mean, you got to figure it was a few days later. It wasn't. I know it was definitely in Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, though.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, speaking of Hank Aaron, I've been doing my greatest player of all time bracket, and he's in the final. Yeah. He's in the Elite 8, but he'll probably be in the Final 4 because he's facing off against Nolan Ryan, which I don't know how he got. I don't know how Nolan Ryan got to the freaking Elite Eight. People don't know. People don't know how to vote. He like literally. Who did he beat? He beat the last round. He beat Johnny Bench.
Bench, yeah.
And then he beat. Who did he beat before that? Oh, Ricky Henderson. He beat Ricky Henderson the round before that, and then the first round it was who was it?
Ricky Henderson. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Mickey Mantle also got voted over Ted Williams. And even as a Yankees fan, I can tell you that's definitely not true.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Oh, well.
So you're going to get. I mean, honestly, Ricky Henderson and Johnny Bench, I would take over. I love Nolan Ryan, and what he did is like incredible. The strikeout record and all the innings he threw and the 7 no-hitters. I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable. But as far as talent-wise goes, Bench is the best catcher ever.
Yeah.
And Ricky Henderson, the best leadoff hitter ever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the all-time. I mean, if you're going to look at Ryan's strikeout record as being unbreakable, well, you got to look at Ricky Henderson's stolen base record as being probably even more unbreakable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Honestly, I think Ryan's record, well, I don't know. They're both pretty untouchable, man. You know, the career records. But Henderson was a better player overall. You know, if I had to choose, I'd take Henderson, and I would definitely take Bench. Bench, like I said, in my opinion, Bench is the best catcher ever.
Oh yeah.
I'd take him over Pudge. I'd take him over Yachty. I'd take him over Gary Carter. I'd take him over anybody.
Oh my, yeah. The first round it was Mike Schmidt. He beat. What the fuck?
What? How it's the best third baseman ever. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Nolan Ryan was the best pitcher ever.
No.
So I just can't, you know what I mean? I can't take him over someone like Schmidt or Bench, who are the best ever at their position.
Yeah. People are just so stupid when they vote in polls.
Well, yeah.
Like, whatever.
It is what it is. What are you going to do?
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to today in history.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
well,
today.
I was going to say. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it's interesting as far as, you know, in a historical context, that in 1974, Hank Aaron tied Babe Ruth's record, you know, with all the racism that was going on and everything, you know, him breaking Ruth's record was a big deal, or tying Ruth's record and obviously ultimately breaking it was a big deal. And it's interesting that it came on the 6-year anniversary that Martin Luther King was shot and killed, assassinated, you know, which happened in 1968. You know, we talk about like, you know, coincidences or like whatever you want to put on it, numerology, or kind of like, you know, these kind of things that happen. And I just thought that was kind of interesting, that correlation there. You know, Hank Aaron got, you know, famously got so many death threats to his family and everything like that. Like, how can this guy beat the great Babe Ruth, you know, and, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, I think it was kind of fitting that he tied Ruth on the anniversary of Dr. King's assassination. You know, interesting that the way things fall that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, and then...
Leave it on a somber note, but it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, and just to mention, too, on that day when he was assassinated, they postponed the opening day games, which was the right decision.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other biggest thing on this day, and really the last biggest thing, was in 1911 the MVP award was introduced, which was originally sponsored by Hugh Chalmers, who was a auto manufacturer. And the first winners of the award for that year were Ty Cobb and Frank Schultz of the Cubs. I think I said that right.
Frank Schultz, yeah.
Schultz, yeah. So
Frank Schultz actually had a sick year that year.
yeah,
30 doubles, 21 triples, and 21 homers.
jeez.
Yeah, he had 300, 105 runs, 107 ribbies, 23 stolen bases. Dude was a stud that year. I mean,
Yeah.
couldn't have picked a better year to have a career year.
No, yeah,
You know, but I tell you, 21 home runs. The year before, he led the league with 10. So you got to, I mean, back then, before Ruth came around, this was what you got as your league leaders in home runs. 21 home runs was like a record back then. So, yeah, solid year, though.
mm-hmm.
Give him that.
And back then it was actually voted on by there was one baseball writer representing each franchise in the league, and now it's since 1931 it was the Baseball Writers Association of America, which obviously votes on everything, like including the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And you know, obviously we've all disagreed with some of their voting sometimes. So.
Yeah, I was actually writing down some other what if. I'm going to try to finish up the World Series thing from 1994. But I was actually thinking about some other what ifs.
Yep.
And one of them, I was thinking about going back through the awards and like kind of like what the voters got wrong. Maybe not a what if, but looking back on the stats and looking back on the seasons and just kind of picking it apart now from the way we see baseball now, looking back on it. I mean, because you look at someone like Ted Williams, you know, he won the Triple Crown, didn't win the MVP. Because back then it was basically if you didn't play for the division, well, back then it was two divisions. It was AL and NL. But I mean, if you didn't play for the winning team who won your league, then you didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So Ted Williams probably would have won 8 or 9 MVP awards, honestly. But he lost out to guys like Joe Gordon and Joe DiMaggio. Now, I'm not taking away from DiMaggio, but I'm just saying, you look at Ted Williams, the numbers he put up, the dude he should have probably won quite a few more times. So I was thinking about that as something too. But I want to dive into the 1919 Black Sox scandal.
That's an interesting one.
What if they never cheated?
Yeah.
You know, but that'll be later on. I know you got the Babe Ruth one going on.
Yeah, I barely started it. I kind of just, I was trying to do, I'm probably going to do a lot of more NFL stuff here and then try to because I'm doing the Eagles mock draft, so I'll try to do that, and then probably some of the draft profiles too.
Yeah, I know I got the Saints to do. I'm doing the Saints mock draft. I'm not enough into college where I can get into the draft profiles. I'll stick with baseball. Mm-hmm. Unless it's some football, some mock drafts like NFL and stuff, I'll do that. But yeah, I can't dive into like this college football stuff. I just don't watch enough of it.
Yeah, but anyway, I guess that'll kind of pretty much wrap it up for today in history. We'll be back again tomorrow for another one, and well, pretty much every day, as we've been doing them for the last week or so now. So
yeah,
and then we talked about the what if articles we'll be diving into more of those and getting content out even without baseball. And I saw it, like probably everybody saw that at this point, that Trump was had that video call with all the commissioners of all the sports to try to figure out when they're going to start and stuff, I guess. But I heard that it's possible that they can play like with fans in August or September, but it's kind of, I think that's more of wishful thinking at this point. They still don't know anything like what's going on, because you don't know, even if this virus dies down and then like whatever quote unquote flattens the curve, then it could still then you lessen all the stuff, like you can let people go out again, like then it might just spike back up again because it's not all the way died down. So I don't know.
Yeah, as much as everyone wants to get back to everything, we can't jump the gun on this because then it's just going to come back.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be deflated. If God forbid, like everything's like, oh yeah, sports, everyone can go out, we can all leave our houses again, and then like 2 weeks later, all of a sudden it like spikes up again. And it's like, all right, everyone back in their houses, and everyone's going to be shot. You got to play it safe. Got to play it safe. I have no problem with baseball playing in the summer, even if they start the season without fans for the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
Just to be sure. Test all the players and crew and everything like that. And, I could see that, but can't jump the gun as much as everyone wants to get back out there.
Oh yeah. And I think baseball is more likely to even play. Like, I don't know if even basketball, like, especially basketball is one that's tough to even for the players to like be cleared to play because they're like so close to each other and sweating at each other and stuff. Like that's baseball. You kind of spread out more. You don't really go near any of the other players unless you're like
right,
whatever. But basketball, you're pretty much on top of each other. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the pessimistic side that they're going to end up having to cancel the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping not. I honestly think they're going to try to. I think they're going to get something back.
Yeah.
Even if it's July 1st, go into July 4th weekend and do it. Start up the season then. Even without fans for the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, the first month, bring the fans back in August and September, and then extend the season, extend the playoffs into November, even beginning of December. You're talking about like a neutral site or a warm weather site or a dome. Well, do that. I don't know. This is uncharted territory, man. With this stuff. So no one knows, and no one can tell what's going to happen as far as the spike, as far as the curve, flattening the curve, and who knows? Who knows? We just got to play it day by day. That's it.
Right.
I remember watching ESPN and when Keith Olbermann was on there with Dan Patrick, they used to do ESPN at night.
Oh wow.
And whenever they did the highlights and stuff like that of baseball, Keith Olbermann always used to say, he's like, and like Ken Griffey Jr. is day to day, but aren't we all?
Oh, right.
I always remember him saying that.
That's exactly.
It's kind of true at this point, especially.
Yeah.
All day to day.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for today, and we'll be back again for a while for every day. So, yeah, just a reminder: you can never have too much pod tour, especially now in this time.